All right, I'm putting on a little bit of lip oil so you guys don't have to look at my crusty lips. They're actually in decent health considering the time of year it is. This is just the e.l.f. Glow Reviver lip oil in pink quartz. It's a good just every day. It's always in my purse. So, hi everyone. It is time. I might turn the car off. Hopefully those overhead lights will turn off. So, it is raining. Can you hear it? I don't know if you can. Hopefully the vibes are okay and like the rain's not too loud. Boy, oh boy, that would really stink. But this is how we're doing our coffee chat today. I just wanted to get out of the house. I've got some just homebrewed coffee and it's a rainy day. And you know, on those days like this where it's cold, it's gray, it's rainy, it's kind of like all you need to do is get out of the house in some capacity. A lot of times that'd mean like maybe going to a store, but I was like, let's chat today. I feel like I have not chatted with you guys in just a sit down format in a hot minute. So I'm excited to do that. I have all of the screenshots of questions you guys asked on my iPad actually, because I lost my phone in Disney and I still don't have it. So I joked in Vlogmas that I was carrying around my iPad like a giant 1980s cell phone. But I don't have internet on it. You know what I mean? We just use Wi-Fi with it. So I had to take screenshots and make sure I had plenty since I can't be online. Okay, I just paused and played it back and listened to it and you can definitely hear the rain. Hopefully it's not too distracting. Yeah, I wanted to chat about a lot of different subjects, things that are on my mind, what's going on in our life, etc. So let us do that, shall we? First up, this is the most specific question, and I cannot wait to read your guys' comments on this question. I want you guys to answer it too. Do you get oddly sad during the holidays? When I first read that, I thought, oh my gosh. I remember even as a kid having weird moments like on Christmas Day where I would feel oddly sad and I could never explain it. And then, you know, you get busy, you're a kid. But I remember it so vividly. And I think there's something about the buildup to something like Christmas, whether you're a kid or an adult, the buildup is so huge. And even when, we always had a wonderful Christmas. My parents always I had a very wonderful childhood, but I would still have that feeling and I never could figure out like why. Like I'd be playing with the new toys that I was all excited about and have that feeling. I think it's just that kind of literal letdown after the holidays where it's been so built up, then you enjoyed it. And then it's like the slow burn out of the holidays. Of course, the holidays come with, a lot of people are sad for different reasons. And I'm not talking about that, like grieving, losses, sickness. That's not what I'm talking about here. As an adult, I don't think I've really felt that so much, but I do think there was a transition period away from like the excitement of Christmas as a kid and even young adult, you know, when my parents would still buy me gifts and I'd be there, you know, in college, to like being on my own and Christmas just looking very different. And then once we had kids, it was different again, but that one was even more joy-filled because we've got a kid that we're excited to share it with and make it magical for. But there was definitely a period in young adulthood where I feel like it was another transition where you have to realize like, okay, the Christmas of your childhood is not the Christmas that you'll experience as an adult. It's just different. Not better or worse. Well, probably worse. Because come on, being a kid at Christmas time, there is nothing better. But you know what I'm saying. So I think there's some validity to that oddly sad during the holidays feeling. Again, not talking about sad for other reasons, but just like randomly. Anyway, anyone know what I'm talking about? Or am I just, who knows? Strong start. Okay. This is not going to be all about Christmas for sure. Ooh, what is your current skincare routine? So I really have stuck to doing retinol every other night. And when I do retinol, I use the pharmacy niacinamide night mask with it. I have not had any dryness or peeling since doing that. I'll link the specific one if you're curious. The retinol I use is one prescribed from my doctor. It's like the 0.25%, you know? But then on the other nights, I typically will use, I'm trying out a new serum I'm really liking, but I don't think it's available yet. So I'll sit on it. I know I'll be talking about it in a month or two, but I'm really liking it. And it's kind of perfect timing because I'd been feeling like I've been looking for a serum other than retinol that I can use on the other nights that is a powerhouse of stuff. So I'm so sorry to tease you in that way. I promise I will talk about it very, very soon. That is exciting. And then I just use whatever moisturizer I have. I've been bip-bopping around honestly, other than my pharmacy one. With my other ones, I'm kind of using a few things up that I'm not totally loving. So I've got the retinol part down, working on my other nights other than that. But I've been keeping it pretty simple. I haven't been using any BHAs or AHAs just because I think with doing retinol, which is already exfoliative in its own way, I think doing that it was just too much. And now that I feel like my skin is more leveled out, I just don't feel like I need to have a BHA going on at the same time as retinol, even if it's on different days. So that's my own thing. Let me know your experience. Like, do you still use the like BHA type stuff on off nights from retinol, or do you feel like it's too much? Is your skin able to handle it? I don't know. What's on your Christmas wish list? I did film a video. It is already up. I will link below if you're curious what I'm asking for. I'm putting that in quotes because Tyler knows my list is just always ongoing. You know, you just add things throughout the year that you think of. Yeah, if I get like one thing off my wish list, that would be amazing, because some of the things I'm asking for are like dream big ticket items, like maybe one day, but probably not today. But yeah, it's in my gift guide video. So I did one gift guide this year. I loved filming it. Definitely check it out. I'll link it below. A lot of the things are from Amazon, so you still have time. You could totally order it and get it in time. A lot of good gift ideas, and I share my wish list at the end of that video. How do you discover new books to read? I get analysis paralysis. So a lot of times I use word of mouth from friends, because I agree. I would get to this point. I had my Goodreads account, and I would have so many books on my want to read list. It'd be hundreds. And I finally deleted almost all of them except for like 20-ish, because I didn't know where to even begin. I'm like, okay, it's time for a new book. And I'm like, I have Libby open to rent it from the library for my Kindle. And I'm like, I don't know where to begin. You know what I mean? There's hundreds here. So then I'd created like this separate one called Up Next, and I had a few on there, but I'm like, it was still confusing. So I've kept it simple. I've whittled that down, but yeah, mostly word of mouth. If I have a friend that's like, oh my gosh, this is one of my favorite books, I'll add it to the list and go ahead and look for it on Libby and kind of put it in my queue, if you will, or put it in my rotation. Right now, I got a lot of questions about what I'm reading. Well, first of all, next year, 2024, I really would like to start talking about books more on my channel. I talk about them here and there. I don't feel like I read fast enough to do like, you know, my friend Andrea Renee, well, I call her my friend. I don't know if she knows who I am, but I really love her channel. I've been watching her vlogs recently, and she just started a booktube, like a separate channel just for that. And I was like, gosh, like that is so amazing. I can't wait to watch. And I thought about it, and I was like, I could never do that. I don't read fast enough volume of books, I think, to do that. But it just kind of got the wheels turning for me. I would like to talk about books more on my channel because it is something I enjoy, versus just mentioning them randomly. I want to like maybe every other month just do a sit down chat about what I'm reading. Would you be interested in that? Let me know. If not, it's all cool. You can scroll on by it. But yeah, that's something I might try. I always feel like I don't know how to talk about books, so I'd have to kind of practice. So what I'm reading right now is a book called, do I have my Kindle with me? I was reading it earlier, called Wellness. And it is really long. It's a novel, but it's really, really long. And I didn't realize it when I started it. And now I'm like, man, it's taken forever to get through. I don't know if I recommend it or not yet. I am 65% of the way through, and it's taken me a long time to get into it. So I'm kind of at that point where I'm going to finish it, but I don't know if I'd recommend it. There was a part at the beginning where I'm not going to spoil anything, but it's a couple that meet in Chicago in the 90s, like in Wicker Park. And I lived in Chicago for a couple years, so it was just kind of fun to read what Chicago was like in the 90s. But so it talks about their meet cute and all that stuff, and then it fast forwards to today. So it's been an interesting premise, but yeah, I just don't know where it's headed. I'm curious where it's going. Are you doing the Jammy Awards this year? Yes, I am. I might, unless I change stuff, I might do them earlier. I usually do them in the new year. And I get so many questions like, why, it's the end of the year. Have you done them yet? And I'm like, I don't know why, but I always did them like the first week of January. But I think I'm going to do them more like the last week of December this time, because it really is my end of the year wrap up. So it makes sense to be within the year. Like I said, unless I change stuff, that's probably what I'm going to do. I always do my best of the year makeup and my best of the year everything else. The everything else one is my favorite one to do. The makeup one is really fun too. It's hard, but my lifestyle / everything else one is my favorite. And so I'm excited. If you didn't see my last year Jammy Awards, I'll be rewatching those soon to see what I mentioned. I try not to repeat unless it's one that just still holds true, But yes, Definitely doing the Jammy Awards. Okay, maybe lame, but are the geometry dish towels worth it? Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, geometry, random brand, I don't know. I must have been pushed to me on social media like last year. So I bought some kitchen towels, and they are the best kitchen towels. They're like thinner, they're absorbent, they wash so well. None of them are stained, and I've had them for a year and a half. I don't know how. Everything else I have is stained. Those towels wash so well. They soak up water. If you're drying dishes, no problem. You know those towels that just wipe the water back and forth? There is nothing more annoying. They do not do that. They really dry it. They are pretty. They have, I mean, maybe thousands of prints on their site, and they're all the same hand towel, different print, but the exact same feel. I could sit on there and buy 100. I have the same few that I got a few, I think, for Christmas last year. And then I had bought some Christmas patterns. So I think I have like 5 of them. They literally look brand new, and we use them every single week. So 100% worth it. Would be an amazing thing to ask for, would be an amazing thing to gift someone. I randomly saw them in a like boutique I guess it would have been maybe 6 or 7 months ago. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I can't believe I'm seeing these out in the wild. I didn't even know they were out there. Coffee's getting a little not so hot. Okay, how did you lose your phone, and are you still carrying the iPad around? Yes, as I said, still carrying my beloved iPad around. I lost it in Epcot. It was literally the last hour or two. And can I tell you a story time, and you guys not judge, okay? Because we all have these moments. If you were in Epcot, our last day that we were there, between the hours of like 1:30 and 2 p.m., you may or may not have seen me absolutely lose my mind in World Showcase. And what's funny is I got a DM from someone that said, hey, it looked like you guys were rushing, but I saw you in Epcot. I didn't get a chance to say hi. And I'm like, oh, I hope she didn't see my like explosion. So I'd lost my phone. I was like taking a picture. Genevieve was like, take my picture here. That's the era she's in. Take my picture here. Okay, So I was taking her picture in the Seas Pavilion where like the little Nemo ride is. And there's like this shark tooth thing. So I took her picture in it. But I've got Felicity as well. Tyler and I have been trading off riding Soarin'. So he was riding another ride. I had both girls. So I'm holding Felicity, taking her picture, and then I'm like going around and trying to get Gigi off of the thing with my phone and her. My guess is I dropped it then. I don't know. So of course, once we realize it's gone, I'm backtracking. I'm asking cast members. I'm going to where we had the stroller and like all the things. They ended up finding it a few hours later in Disney, and they're going to send it to me, even though it has been like 5 days. I have the tracking number, but it just says label created. And I'm like, oh my gosh. But yeah, so just kind of a weird thing. Luckily they found it, and they're going to send it back because yeah, I mean, it had photos from the day that hadn't been backed up yet that I was so excited about, and vlog stuff, because of course we vlog our trip. So anyway, all is okay. It's just a phone. So we're walking to go back, and we are running late at this point. We had originally had bus transportation from our hotel to the airport. We ended up canceling it just to have a little bit more time in Epcot, because we were like, it's going to get us to the airport like 3.5 hours early. We really don't need to be there that early. So we were like, okay, we'll just find an Uber car seat, do that. So we end up ordering one ahead of time for a certain time. But if you don't arrive by a certain time, you get charged and it's canceled and all this stuff. And now we're inching closer to our flight time. So we are zooming through Epcot. I don't have my phone. I know it's somewhere over there, but we have to leave. And, you know, I think Felicity was maybe, you know, fussing, wanting a snack. So I'm trying to hand her a snack. We're literally running with the stroller. Both girls were like, strap in, girls. Like, we're going. We are running through it. She's crying about wanting another snack. And then what else? We're running late. I had to go to the bathroom. We were hungry. Like, it was everything all at the same time. And there were so many people. And I don't even remember what I said, but Tyler said something to me. And you know, where you're just in that, like, about to lose your mind at everyone and everything. And I yelled something like, I don't know what you want me to do, because I don't remember what he asked, but it was loud. And like 40 people turned and looked at me. And of course I'm like red in the face, but I'm so seethingly angry at the entire situation. And I'm like, we're going to miss our flight. Then we're going to have to book a flight. Then what are we going to do? Stay in the hotel? Like, I'm going through all of that in my mind. Anyway, so please don't judge me. We all have those moments. That was my moment. So if you saw me, I swear I'm not normally like that. But we ended up making it. Luckily, the Uber driver was still there. Thank goodness. We made our flight. All was okay. I did not expect to tell that story today, but here we are. We need to do something positive now. Now I'm like mad for no reason. Everything was fine. Oh, that's so nice. Just love you guys. So glad that Vlogmas is back. Thank you. Vlogmas, I know I like talk about ad nauseum, but we spend a lot of time on it. So I like to make sure, like, if you haven't seen some of my recent videos, we vlog every single day of December. We are rocking and rolling this year. And I always like to tell people, you don't have to watch it in order. You can pick up any day. They're just vlogs of the day. Sometimes, like with people I watch, I'll watch like a day or two, and then I'll go back and watch, like, if I've missed them, you know? But anyway, you don't need to watch it in order. It's just us going about our days and enjoying it. So I hope you'll check it out this year. They're not on my channel. If you've been looking, they are on Tyler's channel. If you search Tyler Braun, I can link our Vlogmas playlist below as well if you want to check it out that way. But if you subscribe to his channel, if you're into it, that's where they go every single day. It's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun. It's been a tradition for like 7 years-ish. If you weren't doing what you are for a living, what would be a dream career? A recent dream career that I would absolutely love to do is to be a psychologist of some kind. Psychiatrist, I don't know the exact differences. I know there are, but I just think, or maybe a therapist, I just find it's so fascinating. I find humans so fascinating, and any book I've read on the subject are like my favorite books. I read them voraciously. I mean, don't you think humans are fascinating, the way we operate and how things in our past affect things in our future and why we are the way we are? And but also being able to help people through things, I think would be huge. So honest to goodness, if tomorrow I didn't do YouTube anymore, and I decided not to go back to teaching, that's probably what I would do, but I decided not to, I could see myself going back to school to do something like that. Be a lot of school. Big commitment. A lot of money, but you know what I mean. It'd be really cool. Starting to feel that dryness in the air. I had the heat on in the car, of course, and I'm feeling it at home. I need to clean out our humidifier and get it popping again, because it's just starting to settle in now that the heat's been on for a few weeks especially. Oh, I loved this question. Division of parental labor, plan or on the fly? I say on the fly. So Brene Brown, who's written, I mean, she is very, very famous in the world of just self-help, I guess. But there's this thing I've heard her talk about, and I'm absolutely going to butcher it. But I want to say she calls it like the 80-20 rule, and I don't have my phone or internet to look it up so that I get it right. But basically just, maybe it's not 80-20, but basically if you come home and you have like the worst day ever and you're tired and you maybe don't feel so well and you're just in a bad mood because of something that happened at work and blah, blah, blah. And you come home and your spouse comes home and you got the kids and you look at your spouse and you say, I've got 30. Like out of 100, I have 30% to give. Can you make up the slack? Can you give 70%? Because I just don't have the energy to be the parent tonight. You know what I mean? I'm absolutely butchering it. I know. But my point is, I love that idea of, you know, recognizing in your partner when you want to try to keep it even if you've got a relationship like that. I know everyone's relationship is different. I have close friends where one person does, you know, all of the housework and parenting type stuff and the other one works, and that's what works for them. Nowadays, we always are like, well, everything should be even, and everything should be equal. That's not my point. But I think when it comes to parenting, there's a lot of pressure for everything to be 50-50, but for some people, it works differently, the way that they roll. And if it works for them, I don't see anything wrong with that. And that's something I've dwelled on a lot lately. But Tyler and I, the way we do it really is, I would say, pretty darn 50-50. But I think recognizing that you sometimes might need to pick up the slack for your partner and seeing that in them is beneficial, because that's where I say it's plans sound great, being like, okay, every other day you do the dishes, and while you're doing the dishes, I'll bathe the kids, and then we'll, you know what I mean? But then there's a day where there's not enough time for a bath, or, you know, the dishes just don't get done because you're too tired, or you go out to dinner. And, you know, plans are wonderful when they work, but if they don't work, it's hard to force them to work. And I think with kids, it's really hard to have plans like that. When we just had Genevieve, I feel like we were able to do that kind of every other day type thing. But now with two, it is never the same twice. We've said that a lot, but it's just not. No 2 nights are the same. And so we've stopped kind of keeping track of like, well, I did it last night, and now it's just like, what do you feel like doing tonight? Okay, if you'll do that, I'll do this, and we just get it done. And it works for us right now. We'll see how things change as they get older and you know, but right now, just kind of keeping it on the fly and in the moment has worked. We'll see. You guys still there? Will you do another upside down day? Really enjoyed. Thank you. So if you recall, I did a vlog long ago. I can link if you didn't catch it, where I literally did everything the opposite of what I normally would do it in a way. So I called it an upside down day because it was doing things I don't normally do. Like at one point I went to the gym, which I actually happened to go to today. I haven't gone in like months, but I like went to the gym in the morning. I never ever do that. And then I tried a new place. I went to a park and walked around like at lunchtime or something, just doing things abnormally to really shake up my day. And it was so lovely. I discovered new things that are options during the day that I typically just wouldn't have done. You have to see the video. I think I explain it better. I would love to do another upside down day, especially come January and February when everything's just kind of like blah, especially February. Maybe I'll plan for that. That sounds like fun. But I challenge you to do your own upside down day. Do you ever think you will quit YouTube? Please don't. That's a hard question. I don't know that I can envision myself doing this for decades. It's what we were talking about at the end of a vlogmas. We were chatting. Tyler and I were both talking about this. And we just don't know. Like, there's a part of me that could see when the kids are grown a little bit more, whether they're out of the house or not, but when they're grown a little bit more, I could see myself just wanting something different and maybe going back to school for teaching or whatever it is, just to renew my licensure. But I also don't know, because I love what I do. And like in this moment, I don't want to do anything else. It's a hard question to answer, and one that I think I revisit all of the time. How did you like going to Bible study? So yeah, I absolutely loved it. It ended, it was like a 6-week kind of thing, or 5, I don't remember how many weeks it was. I loved it and I genuinely miss it. And so I'm like on the hunt for one, because I want it to be in person. It feels just so much more personal. I did not expect to love doing that as much as I did. I've never done anything like that before. And it became so meaningful to me and so life-giving through the week that I definitely am looking for another one, maybe after the holidays come January. Right now I'm reading just at home on my own a like little Advent devotional, but it's not quite cutting it. You know what I mean? Like I just want a little more. So let me know if you have any recommendations. I did get a question if I've ever done the Daily Grace Co. devotionals. I have, and I have a few of them. I think some are just better than others. I did their Advent one last year, the year before, and I didn't really love it. But then I did another one of theirs that I really loved. So I think it's just kind of hit or miss what you're hitting on. But I've also never done any of their like book studies. It's always been about a theme. So I think I should try one of their actual studies on a specific book and see how I like that. The Daily Grace Co., devotionals are gorgeous. They are absolutely like beautiful studies. But if you have other brands or writers that you really like their Bible studies, let me know below, because I really am on the hunt. Okay, best tips for managing the stress of the holidays with kids. I think one thing I'm trying to do this year, and I'm not a master of this, so I don't really have great advice. It's something I work on too. I think asking yourself, if you're trying to do too many things, asking like, okay, why are we doing this thing? Because if you don't really have a good reason for doing it and you're already doing so much, think about what you could cut. Like one example I could think of is Christmas cards. If they stress you out, they used to stress me out. I finally typed in the addresses so they get printed on the envelope, and that is a game changer. So now it's not as stressful. But back when I was trying to handwrite all this stuff, it would take up nights of time. Like I remember having a moment where I was like, this isn't worth it. Like there is no reason for doing this other than wanting to reach out to family and friends. And I love Christmas cards. I love receiving them. But I think when you can look at something and say, okay, if my why is not really a great answer, then do I really need to do this one thing that's stressing me out? Or with the kids, like trying to do too many things. There was a year, I want to say 2 years ago, we did way too many Christmas themed like outings, and we love them. And the kid, honestly, like Genevieve loves them too. But I remember hitting a point where we're like, okay, this was maybe too many this year. Like, so just really managing how many things you're doing. What could you say no to? Even with Christmas cookies, I feel like I'll try to make too many and then I get stressed about it. It's like, okay, Jessica, whittle it down. You don't need to make 6 different Christmas cookies. You can make 3, you know? I don't know. We'll see. I've got a lot that I want to make this year. Okay, so I think that's all I'm going to talk about. I could go on and on and on. I love these heart-to-hearts with you guys because I feel like I spend a lot of time trying to be careful about how I say things. And even in this video, like I will be asking my editor to edit certain things out, but I don't want to have to feel like I have to edit out everything because I would like to think that a lot of you guys know what I'm trying to say, even if I don't say it in the most eloquent way. But I also think we're all craving someone to just like be authentic about stuff that we're all going through and not dance around issues. I don't know. There are certain things I intentionally don't talk about on my channel. I know you guys know that. We already get it so much and I don't want to, like, politics is the perfect example. I really try not to talk about it because I'm like, I'm tired of it. I don't want to talk about it. We get enough. I don't know enough on any issue to speak out as a advocate for something or against something. I don't. So like even just thinking about politics, and we've got an election coming up in a year, which might as well be now because of all the stuff. I don't talk about it for a reason because that's not what I want my corner of the internet to be about. We get it enough everywhere else. So anyway, I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you subscribe if you somehow stumbled upon this video and watched it all the way through. Wow, thank you. Anyway, but yeah, subscribe. I'm excited for new stuff in the new year. I'm excited for the rest of Vlogmas still going on. We typically do towards the end of Vlogmas, by the way, a yearly what we've been reading video. Me and Tyler sit down. We talk through all the books we've read, what we recommend. So if you're into that, definitely stay tuned for that over on his channel. Yeah, other than that, I love you all and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.